Welcome back, lucky American coins. The United States 1-cent coin dated 1965 represents an important chapter in American numismatic history because it was produced during one of the most significant periods of change in the nation's coinage. While the 1-cent denomination itself did not undergo the dramatic composition changes experienced by the dime and quarter in 1965, it was still part of a remarkable era when the United States Mint faced unprecedented demand for circulating coins. The 1965 Lincoln cent remains one of the most collected coins in American history, attracting everyone from beginning collectors searching pocket change to advanced numismatists hunting for elusive mint errors and exceptionally preserved examples. Every year, countless people rediscover the fascination of collecting coins through the Lincoln cent series, and the 1965 issue continues to be one of the dates that frequently appears in collections because of its historical significance and the intriguing varieties and minting mistakes that occasionally emerge. The 1-cent coin carries a face value of 1 cent, equal to 1/100th of a United States dollar. The currency symbol associated with the coin is the familiar cent sign, written as cent, although the dollar symbol dollar is commonly used when discussing values in the collector market. The official country of issue is the United States of America, and the coin belongs to the Lincoln cent series that first appeared in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Since its introduction, the Lincoln cent has become one of the longest-running coin designs in the history of the United States, making it a favorite among collectors around the world. The 1965 Lincoln cent weighs approximately 3.11 grams. Its composition consists of 95% copper and 5% zinc, the same bronze alloy used for most Lincoln cents produced before the composition changed in 1982. The coin has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters and a thickness of approximately 1.52 millimeters. It features a plain edge rather than a reeded edge, allowing it to be easily distinguished from higher denomination coins. These specifications made the coin practical for everyday commerce while ensuring durability during years of circulation. The obverse of the 1965 Lincoln cent displays the right-facing portrait of President Abraham Lincoln. This portrait was designed by Victor David Brenner, whose initials, VDB, became famous among collectors because of their placement on the original 1909 Lincoln cents. The inscription "In God We Trust" appears along the upper rim of the coin, reflecting a national motto that has become a familiar feature of American coinage. To the left of Lincoln's portrait appears the word Liberty, while the date 1965 is positioned to the right. Together, these elements create one of the most recognizable coin designs ever produced by the United States Mint. The reverse of the coin features the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. The memorial occupies the center of the design, with the words United States of America arching around the upper edge. The national motto E Pluribus Unum appears above the memorial, while the denomination 1 cent is displayed prominently along the lower portion. Under magnification, collectors can even observe the tiny seated figure of Abraham Lincoln inside the memorial, an impressive achievement considering the small size of the coin. The year 1965 marked a pivotal moment for the United States Mint. During the early 1960s, the nation experienced an extraordinary coin shortage. Millions of Americans began saving silver coins because the value of their silver content was increasing. As silver prices climbed, dimes, quarters, and half dollars disappeared from circulation at an alarming rate. Although the cent did not contain silver, the enormous demand for circulating coinage affected every denomination. The mint struggled to produce enough coins to satisfy commerce across the country. Congress responded by passing the Coinage Act of 1965, legislation that forever changed American coinage. The act removed silver from circulating dimes and quarters and reduced the silver content of half dollars. It also introduced several temporary measures intended to discourage coin collecting and hoarding. One of the most noticeable changes involved mint marks. Beginning in 1965, the United States Mint temporarily stopped placing mint marks on circulating coins. As a result, every genuine 1965 Lincoln cent lacks a mint mark regardless of whether it was struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. This policy remained in effect through 1967. The absence of mint marks has fascinated collectors for decades. Beginners sometimes believe that a missing mint mark automatically indicates a rare error, but this is not true for coins dated 1965. Every authentic 1965 Lincoln cent was intentionally produced without a mint mark due to the temporary policy established under the Coinage Act. Consequently, the lack of a mint mark should be considered normal rather than exceptional. Production numbers for the 1965 Lincoln cent reached astonishing levels. The United States Mint manufactured billions of 1-cent coins to relieve the national shortage. These massive mintages ensured that the coin would remain common in circulation for decades. Even today, examples occasionally appear in pocket change despite being more than 60 years old. Their widespread availability makes the date popular among collectors assembling complete Lincoln cent albums. Although billions were struck, quality varied considerably. The mint operated around the clock to meet production demands, and speed often took precedence over perfection. Dies remained in service longer than usual, leading to weaker strikes, die deterioration, and numerous minor imperfections. While most of these imperfections are common and carry little premium, they provide fascinating insight into the challenges faced by mint employees during this demanding period. Collectors frequently search for examples displaying exceptional luster and strong strike characteristics. A fully struck Lincoln memorial with crisp architectural details and sharp lettering is considerably more desirable than a worn or poorly struck example. Coins exhibiting brilliant original red surfaces often command higher prices than brown or spotted examples because copper naturally tones and darkens over time. The color designation assigned by professional grading services, red, RD, red-brown, RB, or brown, BN, plays an important role in determining collector value. Mint errors add another dimension to the fascination surrounding the 1965 Lincoln cent. An error coin differs from ordinary production because something unexpected occurred during the minting process. Error coins are not intentionally created; instead, they result from mechanical problems, equipment malfunctions, or human oversight during production. Genuine mint errors are highly collectible because each represents a unique moment in the manufacturing process. One commonly encountered error type is the off-center strike. This occurs when the blank planchet is not properly positioned between the dies before striking. As a result, part of the design is missing while a blank crescent-shaped area remains visible. The value of an off-center error depends largely on the percentage of the design that is missing and whether the date remains visible. Moderate off-center strikes showing the complete date are generally the most desirable because they combine dramatic appearance with identifiable attribution. Broad strikes represent another interesting error. In this case, the retaining collar fails to hold the planchet during striking, allowing the metal to spread outward beyond its intended diameter. Broad-struck cents often appear slightly larger than normal while retaining nearly complete design details. Because they clearly illustrate the importance of the collar during coin production, these errors remain popular among collectors. Clipped planchet errors occur before striking when the blanking press accidentally overlaps a previously punched hole in the metal strip. This produces a coin with a curved section missing from its edge. Genuine clipped planchets often display the characteristic Blakesley effect, a weakness in the opposite rim caused by the missing metal. Collectors appreciate these errors because they provide direct evidence of the manufacturing process before striking even begins. Die cracks develop after repeated use weakens the hardened steel dies. Tiny fractures gradually form, allowing metal to flow into the cracks during striking. The resulting raised lines appear on finished coins and can vary from barely noticeable hairline cracks to dramatic raised ridges stretching across major design elements. While minor die cracks are common, large and visually impressive examples are often collected as interesting die varieties. Another collectible error involves die chips. Small fragments break away from the die, leaving recessed cavities that become raised blobs of metal on struck coins. Depending on their location, these die chips can create unusual shapes or seemingly add extra features to Lincoln's portrait or the Lincoln Memorial. Some become well known among specialists and receive descriptive nicknames. Die clashes occur when the obverse and reverse dies strike one another without a planchet between them. Portions of each design transfer onto the opposing die, leaving ghost-like impressions on future coins. Collectors examining 1965 Lincoln cents under magnification occasionally discover traces of these clash marks, adding another layer of interest to otherwise ordinary specimens. Double strikes occur when a coin receives more than one impression from the dies. If the coin shifts position between strikes, the second impression overlaps the first, producing dramatic duplicated images. Well-centered double strikes showing clear separation between impressions are among the most visually striking mint errors and are highly sought after by error collectors. Despite the excitement surrounding rare mint errors, it is important to distinguish genuine mint-produced errors from post-mint damage. Coins that have been bent, scraped, drilled, hammered, heated, polished, or altered after leaving the mint generally possess little collector value. Learning to recognize authentic mint errors requires careful study, comparison with known examples. As collectors gain experience, they often discover that the true appeal of a 1965 Lincoln cent extends far beyond its face value. Every coin represents a small piece of American history that has passed through countless hands over the decades. Some examples spent years circulating in grocery stores, banks, restaurants, and vending machines, while others were set aside shortly after leaving the mint because someone recognized their historical significance or simply enjoyed collecting coins. Those carefully preserved pieces often survive today with brilliant original mint luster, making them especially desirable among collectors. One of the first characteristics examined by experienced numismatists is the strike quality. Although billions of Lincoln cents were produced during the mid-1960s, not every coin received the same level of detail from the dies. A strong strike reveals sharp lettering, bold hair details on Abraham Lincoln, crisp folds in his coat, and clear architectural lines within the Lincoln Memorial. Coins displaying these features are generally more attractive than weakly struck examples, even when both have identical grades. Luster also plays an important role in determining desirability. Freshly struck bronze coins possess a distinctive cartwheel effect that rotates across the surface when tilted under a light source. This shimmering appearance results from microscopic flow lines created during striking. Over time, circulation gradually wears away these flow lines, reducing the brilliance. Collectors often seek coins retaining full original mint luster because such examples are increasingly difficult to locate after decades of handling. Copper naturally changes color with age. Immediately after striking, a 1965 Lincoln cent displays a bright reddish-orange appearance. Exposure to oxygen, humidity, and environmental conditions slowly transforms the surface into deeper shades of red-brown and eventually chocolate-brown. Professional grading companies classify copper coins according to these colors because they significantly influence market value. A coin designated red generally commands the highest premium, followed by red-brown, while brown examples typically sell for less despite being equally historic. Storage conditions greatly influence the preservation of a coin. Collectors who stored their 1965 cents in dry environments, away from excessive humidity and airborne contaminants, often retained much of the original brilliance. Conversely, coins kept in damp basements, exposed to chemicals, or handled frequently may develop spots, fingerprints, corrosion, or uneven toning. Such issues can reduce collector appeal even if the coin remains technically uncirculated. Many beginners believe that cleaning an old coin increases its value. In reality, the opposite is almost always true. Abrasive cleaning removes original surfaces that collectors prize. Polishing leaves unnatural shine and microscopic scratches that grading professionals quickly recognize. Even gentle rubbing can permanently alter the appearance of a copper coin. For this reason, experienced collectors recommend leaving original surfaces untouched regardless of tarnish or toning. Professional grading has become one of the most important aspects of modern coin collecting. Independent grading companies examine authenticity, preservation, strike quality, luster, surface condition, and I appeal before assigning a numerical grade using the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70. A coin graded MS65, MS66, MS67, or higher generally commands significantly greater prices than lower grade examples because truly exceptional preservation becomes increasingly scarce. For the 1965 Lincoln cent, obtaining a very high mint state grade can be surprisingly difficult. Although billions were produced, relatively few survived without contact marks or storage imperfections. Large canvas mint bags containing thousands of coins allowed heavy bronze cents to rub against one another during transportation. These contact marks, often called bag marks, reduced the grades of many otherwise uncirculated examples before they ever entered circulation. Some collectors specialize in assembling complete Lincoln cent sets according to date and design type. Since every genuine 1965 cent lacks a mint mark, identifying the year itself is sufficient for inclusion in most albums. However, advanced collectors often search for the finest known examples, hoping to obtain registry quality coins certified at the highest grades. Registry set competition has significantly increased demand for superb condition Lincoln cents. Collectors competing for top rankings seek examples with nearly flawless surfaces, blazing original color, and exceptional eye appeal. Even relatively common dates such as 1965 can command impressive prices when certified in extraordinarily high grades because only a small number exist at that level of preservation. Another fascinating area of study involves die states. Mint dies gradually deteriorate as they strike hundreds of thousands of planchets. Early die state coins generally exhibit crisp details and smooth fields. Middle die state examples may develop minor cracks or polishing lines. Late die state coins often reveal heavy die deterioration, flow lines, mushy lettering, and enlarged design elements. Specialists enjoy tracing the progression of individual dies throughout their working life. Die polishing marks occasionally appear on 1965 Lincoln cents. When mint employees polished worn dies to remove clash marks or extend their useful life, fine parallel lines sometimes remained. These raised lines transfer to struck coins and can create distinctive patterns under magnification. Although not considered errors in the traditional sense, they contribute to the individuality of particular die varieties. Grease-filled dies represent another interesting production anomaly. Lubricating grease or debris occasionally filled recessed portions of a die, preventing metal from flowing completely into those areas during striking. The resulting coins display weak or missing letters, numbers, or design elements. Depending on the extent of the obstruction, these struck-through grease errors can range from subtle to dramatic. Struck-through errors occur when foreign material becomes trapped between the die and the planchet. Cloth fibers, grease, metal shavings, wire fragments, and other debris occasionally interfere with the striking process, leaving unusual impressions on the finished coin. Each struck-through error is unique because the obstructing object differs from one occurrence to another. Fold-over strikes occur when a planchet partially folds before receiving the strike. Such dramatic errors produce highly unusual shapes with overlapping sections of the design. Because they vividly demonstrate the tremendous pressure involved during striking, fold-over errors remain highly prized by error specialists. Wrong planchet errors rank among the rarest possibilities for the 1965 Lincoln cent. These occur when a cent design is accidentally struck onto a blank intended for another denomination or composition. Genuine wrong planchet errors require expert authentication because altered or counterfeit examples occasionally appear in the marketplace. Verified pieces often attract strong collector interest due to their rarity. Occasionally, collectors encounter coins displaying multiple mint errors simultaneously. For example, a coin might be both off-center and struck on a clipped planchet, or exhibit a broad strike combined with a die crack. Such combinations are considerably scarcer than single error examples and frequently command substantial premiums because of their unusual appearance. Counterfeit coins remain an important concern in the numismatic marketplace. While counterfeiters generally focus on rarer and more valuable dates, altered common coins occasionally appear with modified dates or fabricated mint errors. Careful examination using magnification, weight measurements, diameter checks, and professional authentication helps protect collectors from purchasing altered pieces. The correct weight of a genuine bronze 1965 Lincoln cent is approximately 3.11 grams. Small variations may occur because of manufacturing tolerances or circulation wear, but substantial differences can indicate damage, alteration, or an unusual mint error. Digital scales capable of measuring to 1/100th of a gram have become valuable tools for serious collectors investigating potential error coins. Diameter measurements provide another useful authentication method. Genuine examples should measure approximately 19.05 millimeters. Significant deviations may suggest post-mint alteration unless accompanied by a recognized mint error such as a broad strike. Thickness should also remain consistent with official mint specifications except where legitimate striking anomalies exist. Magnification is indispensable when examining Lincoln cents. A quality 5x to 10x loupe allows collectors to inspect lettering, die markers, surface preservation, and possible errors without excessive distortion. Higher magnification becomes useful when studying die varieties, doubled elements, or microscopic surface characteristics, although extremely high power often reduces overall perspective. Lighting conditions dramatically influence what collectors observe. Bright, diffused white light reveals luster and surface preservation effectively, while angled lighting highlights die cracks, clash marks, and raised design features. Rotating the coin slowly beneath the light frequently exposes details that remain invisible when viewed from a single angle. Photography has become increasingly important in modern numismatics. High-resolution digital images allow collectors to compare varieties, document collections, seek expert opinions online, and participate in auctions worldwide. Careful lighting and accurate color reproduction are essential because copper surfaces can appear dramatically different depending on photographic conditions. Online communities have expanded interest in the 1965 Lincoln cent by allowing collectors from around the world to share discoveries. Forums, educational websites, and social media groups regularly discuss newly identified die varieties, authentication techniques, grading experiences, and auction results. These communities help beginners learn from experienced numismatists while promoting responsible collecting practices. Auction records demonstrate that exceptional rarity, outstanding preservation, and significant mint errors, not ordinary circulated examples, are what create substantial collector value. Most 1965 Lincoln cents remain worth only face value or a modest premium depending on condition. However, certified high-grade specimens and dramatic authenticated mint errors can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, with the exact amount determined by rarity, eye appeal, demand, and competitive bidding. Claims that ordinary 1965 Lincoln cents are routinely worth millions of dollars are not supported by verified auction records, making careful research and authentication essential before assigning extraordinary values to any coin. The fascination surrounding the 1965 Lincoln cent continues to grow because every coin tells a different story. While billions of these cents were struck during one of the busiest production periods in United States mint history, no two coins have experienced exactly the same journey. Some spent decades in circulation, passing through countless pockets, wallets, cash registers, and banks before eventually finding their way into collections. Others were placed into rolls by banks immediately after production and remained untouched for decades, preserving nearly flawless mint surfaces. This enormous range in preservation makes collecting the 1965 cent both challenging and rewarding. Every coin begins as a simple strip of bronze alloy. The United States Mint purchased long coils of metal containing 95% copper and 5% zinc. These coils were fed into large blanking presses capable of punching thousands of perfectly round blanks every hour. Each blank represented the future foundation of a 1-cent coin, but before striking, it required several additional manufacturing steps to ensure uniform quality. After blanking, the circular metal pieces were known as planchets. These planchets passed through annealing furnaces where controlled heating softened the metal. Softened planchets accepted the designs more effectively during striking and reduced the chance of cracking under immense pressure. Following annealing, the planchets were cleaned to remove oxidation and scale produced by heating. Clean, smooth surfaces were essential for creating sharp, attractive coins. Next, the planchets moved through upsetting mills. This process raised a narrow rim around the edge of each blank before striking. The upset rim helped metal flow properly into the dies during the striking process and produced the familiar raised border surrounding the finished coin. Although many people assume the rim forms during striking alone, the upsetting operation plays an equally important role in creating a well-defined coin. Once prepared, the planchets entered high-speed coin presses where the real transformation occurred. The lower die remained fixed while the upper die descended with tremendous force, compressing the bronze blank between the engraved designs. In only a fraction of a second, thousands of pounds of pressure transferred every detail of Abraham Lincoln's portrait and the Lincoln Memorial onto the coin. Modern observers often underestimate the engineering precision required to strike millions of coins every day with consistent quality. The production demands during 1965 placed extraordinary pressure on the mint. Because the nation faced an ongoing coin shortage, employees worked tirelessly to increase output. Coin presses operated continuously for long shifts, and dies remained in service longer than usual. This intense production schedule contributed to many of the minor die varieties and striking characteristics observed on surviving 1965 Lincoln cents today. Die became increasingly noticeable as production continued. Every strike subjected the hardened steel dies to tremendous stress. Although die steel was extremely durable, repeated impacts gradually rounded fine details. Lincoln's hair could appear softer, lettering became less crisp, and architectural lines within the Lincoln Memorial gradually lost sharpness. Collectors often distinguish between early die state and late die state examples by studying these subtle differences. Another phenomenon frequently encountered on heavily used dies is die flow. As metal repeatedly flowed outward during striking, microscopic or altered the surfaces of the dies. Coins struck from these worn dies often display radial flow lines extending toward the rim. While these lines can contribute to attractive cartwheel luster, excessive die wear may also create distorted lettering and swollen design elements. Machine doubling occasionally causes confusion among beginning collectors. Unlike true doubled dies, machine doubling results from slight movement of the die during striking rather than an error during die creation. The effect usually appears as flat, shelf-like secondary images along the edges of letters or numbers. Although visually interesting, machine doubling generally carries little additional value because it reflects mechanical vibration rather than a genuine die variety. True doubled die varieties are significantly different. They originate during the preparation of the working die itself when the design becomes impressed more than once in slightly different positions. Every coin struck from that die exhibits identical doubling. Genuine doubled dies are carefully studied and catalogued by specialists because they represent permanent die varieties rather than random striking anomalies. Collectors examining 1965 Lincoln cents frequently inspect the inscriptions "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the date for evidence of doubling. Strong doubled die examples may display clearly separated letters or numbers visible without magnification, although most varieties require careful inspection using appropriate lighting and magnification. The reverse design also provides numerous opportunities for variety attribution. The columns of the Lincoln Memorial, the lettering in 1 cent, and the motto E pluribus unum may reveal doubled elements, die polishing marks, clash impressions, or other interesting characteristics. Specialists often spend years studying these tiny differences to identify previously undocumented die pairings. The Lincoln Memorial itself remains one of the most intricate reverse designs ever placed on a circulating American coin. Frank Gasparo succeeded in depicting an entire national monument within a space smaller than a postage stamp. Under sufficient magnification, the seated statue of Abraham Lincoln becomes visible inside the memorial, demonstrating the remarkable precision achieved by the mint's engravers. Many collectors appreciate the symbolic meaning behind the coin's design. Abraham Lincoln served as the 16th President of the United States during one of the nation's most difficult periods. His leadership through the Civil War and his commitment to preserving the Union established him as one of America's most respected historical figures. The decision to feature Lincoln on the cent beginning in 1909 represented the first time an actual historical individual appeared regularly on a circulating United States coin. The reverse depicting the Lincoln Memorial strengthened this tribute by connecting Lincoln's portrait with the monument dedicated to his memory in Washington, D.C. For half a century, from 1959 through 2008, Americans carried this symbolic pairing in their pockets every day, often without realizing the artistic and historical significance contained within such a small object. Interest in the 1965 Lincoln cent extends beyond the United States. Collectors throughout Europe, Asia, Australia, South America, and Africa include Lincoln cents in world coin collections because of their historical importance and accessibility. Many international collectors begin assembling date sets after discovering the variety of designs and minting changes within the long-running Lincoln series. Coin shows remain among the best places to study 1965 Lincoln cents firsthand. Dealers often display examples ranging from heavily circulated pieces worth only a few cents to superb gem-quality coins certified by leading grading services. Comparing numerous specimens side by side helps collectors develop an understanding of grading standards, strike quality, color classifications, and surface preservation. Roll searching has become another popular activity among Lincoln cent enthusiasts. Banks occasionally provide rolls of cents that collectors carefully examine for older dates, varieties, and mint errors before returning the remaining coins to circulation. Although finding a spectacular error remains unlikely, the excitement of potentially discovering an overlooked rarity continues to attract thousands of hobbyists. Estate sales, flea markets, antique stores, and inherited collections occasionally produce unexpected discoveries. Families sometimes preserve original bankrolls assembled decades earlier, unaware that certain coins may have remained untouched since the 1960s. While most examples prove to be ordinary circulation pieces, occasionally an exceptional uncirculated coin or authenticated mint error emerges from long-forgotten collections. Professional conservation differs significantly from cleaning. Reputable conservation services carefully stabilize coins affected by harmful contaminants while preserving original surfaces whenever possible. Their goal is not to make a coin appear artificially bright but rather to prevent further deterioration. Improper cleaning, on the other hand, permanently alters the coin and usually reduces collector value. Environmental damage represents one of the greatest threats to copper coins. Exposure to moisture, salt, chemicals, PVC residue, fingerprints, or improper storage materials can produce corrosion, discoloration, and surface pitting. Because copper is highly reactive, collectors generally recommend storing valuable Lincoln cents in inert holders within stable temperature and humidity conditions. Third-party certification has transformed the rare coin marketplace. Authenticated and graded coins sealed within tamper-evident holders provide confidence for both buyers and sellers. Certification reduces uncertainty regarding authenticity and condition while creating a standardized grading system recognized throughout the numismatic community. Population reports published by grading services offer valuable insight into rarity at various grade levels. Although millions of 1965 Lincoln cents survive, only a relatively small number achieve the highest certified grades. This scarcity of top-quality examples explains why registry collectors sometimes compete aggressively for outstanding specimens when they appear at auction. Market values fluctuate according to collector demand, population data, overall economic conditions, and the availability of exceptional examples. A common circulated 1965 cent generally remains worth only its face value or a small premium. Attractive uncirculated examples may command higher prices, while certified gem quality coins and major authenticated mint errors can reach hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Each coin must be evaluated individually because condition and rarity influence value far more than the date alone. The popularity of online videos and social media has generated enormous interest in claims about extraordinarily valuable pennies. Stories describing ordinary 1965 Lincoln cents supposedly worth tens or hundreds of millions of dollars often circulate widely because they capture public attention. However, experienced numismatists emphasize the importance of relying on verified auction records, professional authentication, and established price guides rather than sensational headlines. Genuine rarity certainly exists within the Lincoln cent series, particularly in dramatic mint errors and exceptional condition rarities, but extraordinary value must always be supported by documented evidence rather than rumor. For collectors, the real excitement lies not in unrealistic price claims but in the possibility of discovering an authentic mint error, an unusually well-preserved example, or a previously overlooked variety that contributes to the rich and continuing history of the 1965 United States 1-cent coin. The world of coin collecting is built on discovery, patience, research, and the excitement of finding something unusual hidden among ordinary objects. The 1965 United States 1-cent coin perfectly represents this spirit because, although millions of examples exist, each collector views every coin as a potential piece of history. The search for a valuable 1965 Lincoln cent is not simply about finding a coin with a large price tag, it is about understanding the manufacturing process, recognizing genuine abnormalities, and appreciating the story behind a small piece of American currency that has survived for more than half a century. When discussing the value of a 1965 Lincoln cent, several factors must always be considered. The date alone does not make the coin rare because the United States Mint produced billions of these cents. Instead, value depends on condition, color, strike quality, rarity of the variety, and whether the coin contains a genuine mint error. A normal circulated 1965 Lincoln cent may have little more than face value, while a beautifully preserved example or a dramatic certified error can attract serious collector interest. One of the biggest mistakes new collectors make is assuming that every old coin is automatically valuable. Age is only one part of a coin's story. Many coins from the 1800s and early 1900s are rare because few survived, but many coins from the 1960s were produced in enormous quantities. A 1965 cent is historically important, but rarity comes from special characteristics rather than simply the number on the date. The collector market for Lincoln cents is extremely active because the series includes more than a century of designs, varieties, and historical events. From the earliest 1909 Lincoln cents to modern examples, collectors have created countless specialized categories. Some focus on complete date collections, others collect only errors, some specialize in copper color, and others search exclusively for the highest graded examples known. The 1965 Lincoln cent occupies a unique position because it was produced during a transitional period in American coinage. The United States was changing rapidly during the 1960s. The country experienced major social, economic, and technological transformations. The coin shortage, rising metal prices, and changes to silver coinage reflected broader economic pressures. A simple 1-cent coin from this period serves as a small historical artifact connected to these national events. Collectors often examine 1965 cents using a systematic approach. The first step is confirming authenticity. The coin must match official specifications, including weight, diameter, design details, and metal composition. After authentication, collectors examine the overall condition. They look for signs of wear, scratches, discoloration, corrosion, and damage caused after the coin left the mint. A high-quality 1965 Lincoln cent should display attractive surfaces with minimal distractions. Professional graders examine numerous factors, including contact marks, strike strength, luster, eye appeal, and preservation. Even a coin that appears perfect to the unaided eye may reveal small imperfections under magnification. Tiny scratches, carbon spots, or cleaning marks can significantly affect its final grade. Copper coins present unique grading challenges because their surfaces continue changing long after production. Two coins with identical grades may appear completely different because of their color. One may display bright original red surfaces, while another may show deep brown coloration caused by natural aging. Collectors often prefer coins with stable, attractive toning because natural color changes can enhance beauty and desirability. The term red does not simply describe brightness. In numismatics, a red designation indicates that a copper coin retains nearly all of its original mint color. This is difficult because copper naturally reacts with its environment. A 1965 set remaining mostly red after decades requires favorable storage conditions and careful handling. The red-brown category represents coins that have experienced some natural color change but still retain noticeable original red coloration. Many attractive 1965 Lincoln cents fall into this category. They provide a balance between originality and affordability for collectors who appreciate copper coins. Brown examples represent coins that have fully transitioned to darker copper tones. These coins can still be attractive and historically significant, especially when they have strong strikes and clean surfaces. Value does not depend solely on color. A rare error coin with brown surfaces may still be far more valuable than a common red example. The importance of error coins cannot be overstated in the collecting world. Errors create individuality. Unlike normal coins produced by the millions, error coins contain evidence of an unusual moment during production. Collectors are fascinated by the idea that a small mechanical failure created a coin unlike most others. A major category of errors involves missing design elements. These can occur when grease, debris, or foreign material blocks portions of the die. The resulting coin may have missing letters, numbers, or design details. Collectors carefully examine such pieces because genuine examples can reveal important information about the striking process. Another fascinating error category is the die cap error. This occurs when a struck coin sticks to one of the dies and continues striking additional planchets. Over time, the coin attached to the die can become distorted into a cap-like shape. Although extremely unusual, dramatic examples demonstrate the complexity and unpredictability of high-speed coin production. A multiple strike error occurs when a coin is struck more than once while shifting position between strikes. The result may show overlapping images, rotated designs, or doubled portions of the coin. The more dramatic the separation between strikes, the greater the collector interest. Rotated die errors involve the relationship between the obverse and reverse designs. If the reverse design is not properly aligned with the obverse, collectors may notice that the two sides are rotated relative to one another. Minor rotation is common within manufacturing tolerances, but dramatic rotations can be collectible. The rim and edge of a coin also provide important clues. Collectors inspect the edge for unusual characteristics such as missing portions, abnormal thickness, or evidence of improper striking. Because the edge is formed through multiple stages of production, unusual edge characteristics may indicate a legitimate mint error. Some 1965 Lincoln cents show evidence of die deterioration. These coins may have swollen letters, mushy details, or unusual surface textures. While die deterioration is generally considered a normal part of the minting process rather than a rare error, advanced collectors appreciate studying these differences because they reveal how individual dies age during production. The popularity of error collecting has increased dramatically because of improved access to information. Decades ago, identifying unusual coins required specialized books and personal contact with experienced collectors. Today, collectors can compare photographs, research varieties, and communicate with specialists worldwide. This accessibility has introduced thousands of new people to the hobby. However, the internet has also created challenges. Viral videos and exaggerated stories sometimes claim that ordinary coins are worth millions of dollars. These stories often use dramatic headlines to attract attention, but they rarely provide evidence from recognized auction houses or professional grading organizations. Responsible collectors learn to separate entertainment from verified numismatic information. A truly valuable coin is valuable because collectors compete for it. Market prices are created through actual transactions between informed buyers and sellers. If a coin has sold for a significant amount, there should usually be documentation showing the auction date, certification details, grade, and final sale price. Without this evidence, extreme value claims should be viewed carefully. The idea of a hidden treasure in everyday coins remains one of the most exciting aspects of collecting. People enjoy searching old jars, inherited collections, and pocket change because discoveries are still possible. While finding a multi-million-dollar coin is extraordinarily unlikely, finding an interesting error or a high-quality collectible can still be a rewarding experience. For someone discovering a 1965 Lincoln cent, the best approach is careful examination rather than immediate assumptions. The coin should be handled by the edges to avoid fingerprints. Good lighting and magnification should be used. The weight should be checked with an accurate scale. The coin should be compared with verified examples before any conclusions are made. Collectors should also remember that value is not only measured in dollars. A coin can be valuable because it connects generations, represents an important historical moment, or introduces someone to the fascinating world of numismatics. Many lifelong collectors began with a simple Lincoln cent discovered in childhood. The 1965 Lincoln cent continues to represent the relationship between everyday life and history. Millions of Americans used these coins without thinking about their future importance. Today, collectors preserve them because they represent a specific moment when the United States Mint was adapting to economic challenges and producing enormous quantities of currency for a growing nation. The story of the 1965 United States 1-cent coin is a reminder that even the smallest objects can carry enormous historical meaning. A single penny may appear ordinary when found in a drawer, an old jar, or a collection box, but behind its simple design is a story involving American history, industrial achievement, economic change, artistic craftsmanship, and the millions of people who used it throughout everyday life. The 1965 Lincoln cent is not just a piece of bronze, it is a surviving symbol of a changing America. During the middle of the 1960s, the United States was experiencing a period of transformation. The nation was expanding economically, technology was advancing rapidly, and the demand for coins reached extraordinary levels. The coin shortage of the early 1960s challenged the United States Mint to increase production while maintaining quality. The 1965 Lincoln cent became part of this historic effort, representing a time when the Mint worked continuously to provide enough coins for businesses, banks, and citizens across the country. The coin's design remains one of the most recognizable in American history. Abraham Lincoln's portrait represents leadership, perseverance, and the ideals associated with one of the nation's most respected presidents. The Lincoln Memorial on the reverse connects the coin to a place built to honor Lincoln's legacy. Together, the obverse and reverse create a design that combines history, art, and national identity in a very small space. The technical details of the coin also demonstrate impressive craftsmanship. With a weight of approximately 3.11 grams, a diameter of about 19.05 millimeters, and a bronze composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc, the 1965 cent was carefully engineered for durability and mass production. Each coin passed through a complex manufacturing process involving blank preparation, annealing, cleaning, upsetting, and high-pressure striking. The final product represented the combined work of machines, engineers, engravers, and mint employees. For collectors, the excitement surrounding the 1965 Lincoln cent comes from the possibility of finding something unusual. While the majority of examples are common and affordable, certain coins stand apart because of rare characteristics. Genuine mint errors, unusual die varieties, exceptional preservation, and high professional grades can make individual examples highly desirable. A dramatic off-center strike, a major double die, a broad strike, a clipped planchet, a struck through error, or another authenticated production mistake can transform a normal-looking cent into a fascinating collectible. These errors tell a story about the moment the coin was created. They show that even a highly controlled manufacturing system can occasionally produce something unexpected. The value of a 1965 Lincoln cent depends on reality, not rumors. A common circulated example is usually worth only a small amount, often close to its face value. Better preserved coins may bring higher prices, and rare certified errors can attract significant collector interest. However, extraordinary claims of ordinary 1965 pennies being worth hundreds of millions of dollars are not supported by verified auction records or professional numismatic research. The true treasure of coin collecting is knowledge. Understanding how coins are made, learning how to identify errors, studying grading standards, and researching confirmed market sales allow collectors to make informed decisions. Without knowledge, even a rare coin may be overlooked, while an ordinary coin may be incorrectly believed to be extremely valuable. Modern technology has changed the way collectors study coins. High-resolution photography, digital microscopes, online databases, and worldwide collector communities have made information easier to access than ever before. A person discovering a possible 1965 Lincoln cent error today can compare it with thousands of documented examples and communicate with specialists from around the world. Professional authentication plays a major role in protecting the hobby. Experienced grading services examine coins carefully to determine whether they are genuine, evaluate their condition, and assign standardized grades. This process helps collectors understand the true quality of a coin and provides confidence when buying or selling valuable examples. The marketplace for coins is driven by rarity and demand. A coin becomes valuable when collectors are willing to compete for it. Historical importance, beautiful appearance, extreme condition, and unusual characteristics all influence desirability. The highest prices are usually achieved by coins that combine several of these qualities together. The 1965 Lincoln cent may not be a coin that regularly sells for unbelievable amounts, but it remains an important collectible because of its place in American history. It represents the continuation of the famous Lincoln cent series during a period of national change. It connects modern collectors with the people who used these coins decades ago and preserves a small piece of everyday American life. Many collectors believe that the greatest value of a coin is not always measured by money. A coin passed down through a family may hold memories that cannot be replaced. A childhood discovery may inspire a lifelong interest in history. A simple penny found in circulation may become the beginning of a fascinating collecting journey. The search for valuable coins continues because curiosity is one of the strongest forces in collecting. Every old coin has a story, and every unusual mark, unusual shape, or unusual appearance creates a reason to investigate. The excitement is not only in finding a rare coin but also in learning why it is rare and understanding the history behind it. The 1965 Lincoln cent remains a perfect example of this collecting philosophy. It is a common coin with an uncommon story. It was produced during a major moment of change, designed with powerful national symbols, created through remarkable engineering, and preserved by generations of collectors who recognized that even everyday objects can become historical artifacts. For anyone searching through old coins, the lesson of the 1965 Lincoln cent is simple: research before believing, examine before judging, and appreciate the history behind every piece. A penny may be small in size, but its connection to art, technology, economics, and human experiences makes it much greater than its denomination suggests. The fascination with the 1965 United States 1-cent coin will continue for generations. New collectors will discover examples in old collections, experienced numismatists will continue studying varieties and errors, and the story of this small bronze coin will remain part of America's larger history. The greatest discovery is not always finding a coin worth millions. Sometimes the greatest discovery is understanding the journey of the coin itself. The 1965 Lincoln cent teaches collectors that history can exist in the smallest places, waiting patiently to be noticed. A single penny can represent an era. A single error can reveal the complexity of production. A single preserved coin can connect the present with the past. That is why the 1965 Lincoln cent continues to attract attention from collectors, historians, and curious minds around the world. Its value is found not only in the marketplace but also in the story it carries. The 1965 Lincoln cent is a reminder that ordinary objects can become extraordinary when we take the time to understand them. Whether discovered in pocket change, inherited from a family collection, or carefully purchased from a professional dealer, this coin remains a fascinating piece of American heritage.